Even though I dreamed of this moment, it seems a little surreal and unreal. I am amazed and humbled to be here on this stage and proud to be your AACN President Elect. We all have a unique origin story of how we found our way to where we are. Here's mine. Our family farm was down a long gravel road. I walked barefoot everywhere, climbed trees, swam in creeks, and danced naked in the summer rain. I went to a small school in a small town with one yellow flashing light and no gas station, a pass-through place where time stood still. No one I know today would describe me as shy, but in that small school, in that small town, I learned to be shy about sharing myself. Let's just say I was different. Sensitive, awkward, so socially awkward. A little lonely in the wilderness and searching for connection but not knowing how to connect for others. My sense of place, of being rooted to the earth, valuing my environment and craving community despite being a legit introvert. And my earnest search for purpose begins here. In 2nd grade, I wrote a letter to my future self. It was a time capsule message, and yes, when I opened it, I was a nurse.
Aww.
Dear me. So today, I do work in a hospital, and I am an artist. I believe that to teach is to learn, and I am a student of life. I live in a city, but I love container gardening and find hours of solace outdoors. I do really want to be the Easter Bunny. This still sounds fun. I didn't know that I was always meant to be a nurse, and my path has followed the contours of living, and the years I spent finding my way to nursing were not a detour. I was searching for both a way to make a difference and personal stability, purpose and practicality. Things change. People change. Let there be room in the world for change and wonder. That spirit of inquiry is the foundation of empathy for others and an opening for art and beauty and purpose in our work. That is the one true thing here. I am an artist with every fiber of my being. I have studied art. I do art on paper. I do art as a nurse. Deciding to be an artist was the beginning of unmasking myself, embracing being different, being neurodivergent. The myth of the suffering artist proved false for me. I'm more inspired by joy and healthcare benefits. Turning 30 and not having healthcare benefits can really be a motivator for life change. My inspiration came after a long shift at the bar. Bartending did prepare me for nursing more than anything else I have ever done.
Wow.
I was watching a late night television commercial. Maybe you remember these Johnson & Johnson commercials. They were recruiting people to me, or they were recruiting people like me to the nursing profession. For those of you who don't remember, let me describe it. There was a nurse in pristine scrubs, standing attentive and poised at bedside, and an alert, well-rested patient in a clean bed and spacious room. I felt a sense of caring, purpose, and human connection. This I could do. This looked like art. On my first day as a nurse, I was told new grads don't belong in this clinical space. When I asked a question, they replied, "You don't know that already?" When I cried on a shift, I was asked, "Is this the path for you?" Perhaps I was too sensitive, and maybe not everyone is cut out for this. In a profession defined by its caring, was I too caring? I almost walked away from nursing. Maybe my second grade self was right. The hospital world is not for me. But I stuck it out, and I proved them wrong. To survive, I put on the mask of an ICU nurse. The mask that we sometimes wear to do the important but difficult work that we do. It's also a mask that I've worked to remove so that I could be the kind of nurse that I always imagined that I would be. It's a mask of false courage, a construct to put others at ease, and to keep my tender heart safe, to guard against the very burnout that the mask came to represent. This is one way we acquire unhealthy coping behaviors, and then we teach those behaviors to others. It's time to break that cycle. Burnout. Burnout, mindfulness, resilience. How many of you just got turned off by my choice of words? Because someone used one or all of those words in a way that you found to be inadequate, inappropriate, smug, or worse, gaslighting. Sometimes we don't know how to begin the conversation, or it's easier just to not talk about it. At the root, that's part of the problem. And if we focus on the issue, I say nurses need evidence and skills that better prepare them for the clinical world not shown in that J&J commercial. I didn't have these skills when I was a new nurse. I learned by trial and error. Now, I'm a nurse educator and honestly still a student, motivated to speak plainly about the issues and not get lost in the words, so that we can learn together. With human lives in the balance, moral distress is a terrible but expected professional risk, even within an ethical and well-resourced practice. All the more reason for us to normalize our profession's need for advanced clinical, professional, and personal skills. Moral distress is not human frailty, not personal failure. It's a sign of caring. We all came here today by a different path, bringing our unique experiences and our humanity to the profession. We can simultaneously elevate nursing care through evidence-based standards and bring it to life through the art of individualized caring practice. It isn't about having a superpower or being born to be a nurse. Artists are not necessarily gifted with innate talents, but undertake a practice that is meant to last a lifetime. It is not about faking it until you make it. Practice it until you become it.